Hello, everyone. My name is Kevin, and I'm going to tell you about my stalker. I'll start by letting you know I have a niche micro-celebrity status on Instagram. I'm not saying that to brag or anything, no. I'm saying that because it pertains to what I'm about to lay before you. You see, I started my account a few years ago. Just pranks, vlogs, the whole internet personality thing. I grew a bit of a following, and as time went on, more and more people began to know who I was. It was somewhat jarring at first, so many people knowing my name and what I looked like. I grew into it though, and eventually I began to find comfort in the little community that I had created. I started talking with my followers, interacting with them like they were family. As the page grew, I met more and more people who I can sincerely say became genuine friends of mine. There was one guy in particular, whose name was David, and he actually became my best friend. We found out that we lived within only a couple of miles of one another, and after meeting for the first time, we created a weekly tradition of meeting at this local bar where we'd catch up and shoot the breeze. He also became somewhat of a regular guest on my Instagram page, and people seemed to love him for the thick Southern accent that he had. He and I grew the page to about 100,000 followers, and by that point, people were reaching out to us for advertisements and brand endorsements. I, for one, couldn't have been happier. We could actually make some real money from doing something we loved, and that thought warmed my soul. David, on the other hand, was a full-blown pessimist. "Call me when I don't got work in the morning," he'd always say when I spoke to him about our page's growth. "David, you do realize that if we tried hard enough at this, we could get our names out there. We could do this for a living instead of me working the cash register at Walmart and you laying concrete for money under the table." He'd sip his beer, and with a grunt, he'd spurt out, "I'm telling you, Kevin, call me when I don't got work in the morning." Whatever, right? As pessimistic as he was, he'd still go out and film videos with me. He'd be just as excited as I was to go and prank some unsuspecting Target shopper by dressing up like a mannequin before jumping out at them as they walked by. And those were the kinds of videos that really helped us grow. Just harmless pranks that would get a quick laugh out of people. Likes and comments would come flooding in, fans and haters alike. As I was sifting through the comments of a recent post of mine one day, I came across a comment that kinda had me scratching my head. "I would die for you, Kevin." It was odd because, who am I to die for, you know? I'm just some random guy on Instagram pranking people. I replied to his comment with that fact, stating, "Hey man, no one's worth dying for," followed by some more laughing emojis for good measure. He responded immediately. I hadn't even had time to refresh the page before I saw it drop down from atop my phone screen. "You are." Not knowing what else to do, I simply hearted the guy's comment. In between work and recording, I like to relax by playing some video games. I set my phone aside and started up my PS5, where I played Call of Duty for the next, 5 hours or so. After calling it a night and checking my phone one last time, I found that I had a message request from the guy from earlier. I clicked on it, and here's what it read. "Hi, Kevin. Thank you so much for responding to me and for liking my comment. I love you so much. I would literally die for you. Listen, guys, I'm a nice person, all right? I'm not someone who's just going to ignore someone who is clearly inspired by me. That being said, I responded with, 'Thank you so much, man. I love you too. I'm so glad you like the content. But listen, there's no reason to die, okay?' Followed by some more laughing emojis. Immediately, he responded, yet again, with, 'You are.' 'I appreciate that, dude,' I replied. He hearted the message and responded with, 'So when do you think your next video's gonna be? You think I can be in it?' This is where I got a little impatient. I'm all for friendly interaction, but when it feels like you're only being friendly to get something, that's when I draw the line. I don't know, man. Keep an eye out for the video, though. It should be up at some point tomorrow." He hearted the message again and responded with, "Whatever you say, Kevin," followed by some smiley faces. A little taken aback by the intensity of the guy, I exited out of our messages and went to sleep. The next day was a big day for David and I, content-wise. We were both off, so we spent the entire day clip farming, essentially. David's big video happened when he approached an on-duty police officer and asked if they could, and I quote, chase him without arresting him. The cop saw that we were recording, and he must have been having a slow shift because, can you believe it, he really did chase David, caught him too. He made it seem like it was real, even slapping his cuffs on David at one point. The look on his face was priceless. I'm talking tears, snot, the whole shebang. The look on his face when he realized it was a joke was equally priceless. He looked as though he'd just beaten 2 life sentences. My big video came when I met up with this cow farmer whom I'd been in contact with. This guy was way out in the middle of nowhere with nothing but fields surrounding his property. And the reason I was meeting him was because he told me I could try to ride one of his bulls for a video. So we got there, and I'm on the back of this thing holding on for dear life as it bucks and throws me all sorts of ways, all for the sake of some Instagram views. Anyway, I promise there's a point to what I'm telling you. So when I got home that evening, I was looking through the videos I had taken that day, getting ready to chop them up into clips. As I was looking, I found something that made my spine tingle. In the background of David's video was a person watching from a distance with what seemed to be binoculars. He had this dark brown hair and was wearing a bright red shirt with camo pants. He looked like he was watching us and taking notes, I guess. All I know is he looked like he had a notepad in one of his hands. Normally, I wouldn't have even noticed this. However, that same person appeared in my video that had been recorded at least 40 miles from David's. I immediately screenshotted the 2 videos to send them over to David. He agreed that it was in fact very creepy. At this point, I hadn't even considered the guy from the comments. I just figured it was some rando who decided to follow us from the city. However, that changed when I got a new message from the comment section dweller. "When's the video going up?" "There's no way," I thought to myself. I replied to him with a stern, "Dude, I gotta ask, were you following us today?" As always, he viewed the message immediately. This time, he replied angrily, "So what if I was? It's a free country, I can do whatever I want." "That's a good way to get a restraining order placed against you, my man." "Yeah, right. You have to know my name to get a restraining order, dummy. Do you seriously think this is anything more than my burner account?" That's when I reported the account and blocked him. Whether I liked it or not, those clips were interactive gold, and I couldn't just let them go to waste because of some psycho in the background. I'd just crop him out. So that's what I did. I made sure he was nowhere to be seen in the videos, and they went live. Those 2 clips alone earned David and I about 12,000 followers on the account. I waited anxiously for a new "I would die for you, Kevin" comment to roll in, and fortunately, it didn't. It seemed like blocking him actually worked, and I stopped hearing from the guy for a few months. David and I continued to film regularly, and eventually, David really didn't have work in the morning. We'd made it to a point where our income, combined across social media, was enough to pay the bills. With that success came innovation, and our videos got better and better as time went on. One night, after I had finished editing and posting our daily clips, the comment came. "I love you so much. I would literally die for you, Kevin." I didn't even dignify him with a response. I simply blocked the account and went about my day. Not even an hour later, I got a new message request. "Why did you block me?" This time, I did respond. "I blocked you because you are insane. I hope this helps." He responded not with words, but with pictures. Pictures of pages from a notebook filled with the things that David and I had filmed. Each entry had a date beside it, the day the videos were filmed. What made me incredibly uneasy, though, were the things that he had written down that hadn't been posted. They'd been recorded, but they were ones that David and I agreed weren't quite good enough to be posted. "I swear to God, dude, when we catch you, we are 100% turning you in to the police. Keep trying your luck. I guarantee you will regret it." Before blocking him, he got one more message through. "I told you, I would die for you, Kevin." I actually had to take a break from filming after that. I took some money that I'd put aside and used it to beef up our security. I didn't want to take any chances of this guy saying "fuck it" one day and just straight up murdering David and me. Ever so cautiously, we got back into filming. We were sailing pretty smoothly for a while without incident, until February 6th, 2023. That cursed day is ingrained in my mind like a cancer that refuses to be removed. David and I were vlogging a trip to New York while on Instagram Live. We were stopped outside the New York Times building, taking pictures and embracing the scenery. A DM notification from Instagram dropped down from atop my phone screen. All it read was 11.4 seconds. Confused, I swiped the notification away and continued vlogging. 11.4 seconds went by, and just as I opened my mouth to recite the outro to my live, a black mass came plummeting to the ground behind me. I turned around quickly to find a crumpled heap of a person, broken and battered, sprawled across the sidewalk. He landed on his back, and on the front of his shirt was a piece of notebook paper duct-taped to the fabric. Frantically written in Sharpie across the page were 4 words I'll never forget for as long as I live. I told you, Kevin.